library tour because it's virtual, but I'm accompanied by this. This is not a hologram. We're actually sitting next to each other by Director Vassallo, Anita Vassallo of Libraries. And we're here at the beautiful Wheaton Library, which will be opening
Monday,
right?
Monday at 10 a.m.
And we expect to see a lot of people coming into this great library space. And so we appreciate everyone joining. And this will probably be, as we had another person join here, the last virtual library tour that I have to do because there'll be 13 of the 21 open next week.
Well,
right?
Yeah, well, let's see. No, we're going to have 14 open
14
by Monday.
By Monday with noise. Yeah.
And then we'll have everybody else open on the
July
6th of July.
Right after July 4th.
There will be.
And so I think the next one we'll do in person. So we will advertise. I'm not actually sure which one is next. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but we will make sure we promote. And I hope to see some people in person actually sitting in front of me with or without masks if you're vaccinated. And we are both vaccinated, and we are modeling what is now possible in our libraries. There are no social distancing requirements. We're pretty close here. We're both vaccinated, and there's no, you can browse freely and use all the services the same. That's right?
Yes, no appointments. Study rooms are available. Collaboration rooms are available. We have removed the toys at this point in time because, we do understand that children are still not able to be vaccinated. And so not trying to have a whole lot of kids congregate in one place, but the collection is fully open to everyone. And of course, we're going to be happy to see folks back in our spaces. This is the community's building, the community's collection. So
absolutely. Well, I know I'm excited. My kids are excited about it. This is I don't have a favorite library. We have a home library in White Oak, but I can say my kids love this library because of the co-located services with recreation and the the big open space. So, and one of the many examples, Wheaton was doing double duty here as a vaccination
a
site.
Vaccine site.
Yep.
It still is in use as a vaccine site. They've reduced the time because I know you probably know, Will, that 74, 75 of the population of Montgomery County over the age of 12 is vaccinated.
It's great news.
And it is wonderful.
Yep. And we still got that number goes up every day. Just early at the beginning of this week, it was 70%, and we're almost at 75. So reminder, if you haven't gotten your vaccination, it's very easy to walk in private pharmacies at the Montgomery County Health Department sites. Just click Montgomery County COVID and you'll get all the resources, COVID vaccine. And really happy you all are here. So this is our first, as I said, side by side. Usually Anita's a box for me and I'm a box for her. So we're happy to be here, and I appreciate you joining.
I'm glad to be here.
So if folks, I see we have some folks here. Normally what I do is just give a quick update on what's going on in the county. Today I just sent out a newsletter on a couple of things. The first, as you might imagine, was about the library reopening for in-person services. Very important point, because libraries have been open throughout the pandemic. As for holds to go, I just passed probably the last vestiges of holds to go out here at Wheaton. That'll discontinue as libraries reopen for in-person browsing and services, but over 300,000 holds to go.
Oh my gosh, by now it must be 350,000 appointments fulfilled, well over 1 million and more items circulated during the pandemic time. So libraries definitely continued to operate to provide the community the resources that they needed for educational purposes, for recreation, and just, a good book is a great comfort during a difficult time. So
absolutely,
we're glad to be able to provide that. Plus, all the digital services,
all the virtual programming. Not only Councilmember Jawando's virtual story time, but thousands of other great programming. And one of the things I'm most excited for is how we can continue to reach people through virtual programming even after the pandemic. So a couple other updates, as Anita alluded to, 74 80+% vaccinated, 12 and up. We continue to focus on our target areas. The folks who remain to be vaccinated tend to be some of our most vulnerable populations. So we are in a zip code right now, right, 20906. Is this 5 or 6? This is 20906, I think. Yeah, this 20906, 20904, 20905, some of our eastern and mid counties and some in up county where we're still targeting. So if you haven't been vaccinated, we really need you to do that. There's benefits. You can sit side by side with your friends and do other things, and also keep other people in the community safe. We also recently, since my last library tour, we passed a budget, and that budget did some great things for libraries, expanded, restored some cuts to the collection, expanded this new kind of service that I might let Anita talk about in a second here, where you can visit library in non-traditional hours if you're kind of a known quantity. Think of it as TSA pre-check for libraries or something.
Oh, that's a good way to put
it's
it.
kind of how I was thinking about it. And we did a whole bunch of other things. Thanks to the federal government support, we were able to make some investments in robust summer programming. We'll have one of the largest summer programming, both in our schools and in our recreation department, that we've ever had. We were able not to cut critical services, actually expand things like electric buses that we're purchasing, in a whole range of things. It'd be too long for me to run down, but we invested and increased our HHS budget, our Health and Human Services budget, and we have made critical investments in mental health. We're going to do even more. We have some groups meeting now. The Student Wellness Action Group that Councilmember Rice and I created to help us make investments in schools. We know our students, even as they graduate this week from across the county, those who are returning have gone through tremendous trauma, and we want to make sure that we have the services in place for them next year. We're also moving past SROs, and there will no longer be student resource officers in the schools, and so we want to make sure we have the holistic set of services in place. So that's what that group is meeting about. We've done a whole range of things. We doubled the money for safe routes to schools. I put forward a budget amendment for that so that we can make sure as students are coming to and from, they have access to safe walkways and walk sheds. We continue to make Ride On free. That's through the fall, but we're having discussions about maybe doing that long term. And so we know that people who need transit have continued to ride it. We've had some studies that show if you were an essential worker or an hourly worker or gig economy worker, you continued to use transit. And so we've done a whole bunch of things in this budget. I sent an update to my listserv this year, just today, actually, talking about some of those things. But these are for any questions at all. You can ask about libraries. You can ask about the budget. You can ask about traffic. You can, anything you want to ask about, and I'll either get you an answer now, or my staff is on and we'll get back to you with a response if it's something I'm not sure about. So I think with that, is there anything you want to say before we get going, or you want to jump into
No, I don't think so. We very much appreciate the support that you give libraries, not just during the pandemic year, but absolutely as soon as you took office, you hit the ground running with libraries as your special focus, and we've definitely seen the benefit of that. You've been very supportive for us, and really helped your colleagues on council understand the good things that libraries do. All the council members are supportive of libraries, but I think you've really led the charge on that. And I know that we have some folks here tuned in tonight, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
Who are good library supporters too, and they're very appreciative of everything that you have done. It has been I'm not going to say a cliched word, but it's been quite a year. Mm-hmm. We definitely have made our way through it now, and we are looking forward to bringing libraries back probably a little bit better than they were before we closed, because we've learned a lot of lessons. The pandemic was very difficult for many people, and I definitely don't want to turn a blind eye to that, but in a way, it's helped us see that we can provide services to the community in a different way, maybe a better way.
Absolutely. I think as we work to recover equitably, libraries are going to play a central role And so really excited about that. So I will turn it to the audience here. I don't know I think we have, if you want to turn your cameras on, you're welcome to. You don't have to, but we'd love to. I think you're welcome to. Aren't folks welcome to do that?
Let me pull everyone over so they can.
Oh, okay. They cannot. That's why I can't see anybody. So, well, as we're doing that, if you have a question, you can raise your hand or just turn your camera on and unmute yourself, and we will answer it. Or you can put it in the chat as well. And I think I see Ari said something here, which really appreciate that. We have Ari Brooks from the Friends of the Library of Montgomery County, who is plugging her bookstore at the Wheaton Library, which is going to reopen on June 28th. So that's great. And we also have, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We have the Wheaton Library manager and staff here. You guys want to just say a quick hi to everybody?
Sure. Hi, I'm Diane Whitaker, branch manager.
You're too far away from the mic. We heard Diane, but who's you are?
Oh, Pat Meyer, the library assistant supervisor.
Got it. I know who you are, but I wanted everyone else to hear. Good to see you. All right. Well, I see we've got some returning champions here in my.
There's some. Jim.
Yeah, we got Jim here from Friends of the Library. How are you, Jim? Good to see you. And who else do we have up here? We have Joe Ellen. I don't know if I've met you before. You look somewhat familiar. So anyway,
yeah, I was on the other tour that you did, an earlier one. I am someone who's moved out of the state, but I worked in libraries and I love libraries. And so I really wanted to see how they're coming out of my former libraries, how they're coming out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we miss you and we hope you visit. But we're, like I said, we're at the Wheaton Library here, and it's I think Anita just said something that's really important. We're going to come back even stronger and serve even more people. And I know the library staff, I see Diane nodding, are very happy to welcome everyone back. So
that was my library that I used Wheaton a lot. Wheaton and Kensington. So I'm really thrilled to see that you've come through very well and that the budget has really improved and that you've learned all the lessons that, the pandemic, nothing is absolutely only bad. So yeah, a lot of bad things happen, but.
True.
That's absolutely true. And one of the things we did in last year's budget, we had been in this ongoing conversation about, what's the future of libraries and how do we adapt them? And, the system has done a lot of great things already, but I think now we really stand on the precipice of, really being able to innovate and try some new things as we're doing and continue to reach more people, and one of the things that's always struck me about Montgomery County in general, and libraries are a perfect example of this. We have great things going on here, but not everyone knows about them and not everyone has access to them. And I think that's one of the things we can continue to do as we reopen for in-person services. So thanks for joining from somewhere else in the United States. We appreciate it. Anyone, maybe I'll turn to Ari. I know I made your announcement. Do you want to say anything about what's going on with you all, or are you good to go?
I think I'm kind of good to go. I just hope that, folks will visit us at the facility when we reopen on June 28th, because, we are there to support public libraries. And we have some programs coming up with MCPL that Anita might want to talk about. And thank you so much. I followed the entire budget process with the help of Jim Montgomery, the chair of our advocacy committee, and I saw all of the hard work you put into making sure that libraries got their fair share and that we'll be able to continue to serve the varied needs of this community. So thank you. I'm going to sign off now because I'm headed to a virtual performance.
Enjoy.
Have fun.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Anyone, I know we have some other people on. Jim, do you want to make any comments or have a question? I think you're on mute there. or we can't. You don't look like you're on mute, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Gotcha.
Okay. I would just like to say thank you for all of your support, trying to speak for all the library lovers across the county. The budget came out very well, and we thank you for that. And we thank you for getting all of your colleagues to support the libraries quite vociferously during the discussion. I think it was on May 10th when Anita appeared like the U.S. cavalry coming to the rescue and and telling everybody about not only what the libraries are going to do, but describing how they had survived and thrived during the pandemic. So a big thank you to everybody, and we're looking forward to the libraries doing what they used to do and even more.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thank you for your advocacy and always and for using a very library word and vociferous. So anyone, I see we have Andrew and Yesvi. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. And then we have Norma on, it looks like. You don't have to ask a question, but normally what we do here, these are kind of like mini town halls. This is virtual, so if I were holding this in person, you'd be sitting in front of me and I would talk as long, I'd say, like, give you some updates about the county, tell you what's going on, but then turn it to you all to ask me any questions or any concerns about the library or any issue in the county. And I, as an at-large member, I represent all 1.1 million residents here, soon to be probably a little more after we get the census in a few months. And I take it very seriously. And I'm on the Education and Culture Committee, where I'm the lead for libraries. And I also serve on the Planning, Housing, and Economic Development Committee. And so a lot of issues there around affordable housing and supporting our small businesses, and go down the list. But so happy to talk about anything. And my staff will also put my email and our office number in the chat for anyone who wants to follow up afterwards as well. But does anyone who's on want to make a comment or ask a question of myself or my in-person, she's not a prop, Director Vassallo?
Not a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Yes, I can ask. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, this is Yasri. Thank you very much for all the good work you do. I'm part of the Library Advisory Committee for Wheaton. I'm also on the board of the Indian American Leadership Council. Remember the group Kamala Edwards used to head up? And I also want to thank the library staff for all their dedication and hard work. And definitely thank the council members who keep us in mind. And the library is very important, particularly to the poor minorities, because they don't have other places. If you're wealthy, you can order the book from Amazon. But if you're not wealthy, the library is very essential. So just wanted to put in a lot of thank yous.
Well, absolutely. I look forward to meeting you here at Wheaton. Maybe we'll make a date when I bring my kids here. I'll love to meet the various. That's one of my goals too. Is after we finish the tour, is to, connect with some of the library boards. So. But thank you for your service and working on behalf of libraries as well. Andrew or Joellen, I'm gonna be like a teacher here. Call people out. Anyone?
I think that was Joellen.
Oh, that was Joellen earlier. Yes, that was Joellen. We spoke to you. You just went off video. Joellen from out of town. But
this is Andrew.
Hey,
I've been volunteering at the Wheaton bookstore for a while, helping organize their DVD and CD collection, which is vast, and really looking forward to getting back in there and helping out and raise money for the library system. So thanks for having us, Will.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Are there some events you wanted to mention?
Well, yeah, let me, we have a couple things coming up sponsored by the FOLMC. They are a critically important partner for us. We couldn't do some of the wonderful events that we are able to promote. And of course, they fund Summer Read and Learn, which kicks off on the 16th. That's Wednesday of next week. So we couldn't do it without them. And as Andrew mentioned, their bookstores are just chock full of things for the community to come by and pick up. And in doing so, you support your library. So this coming Saturday, and I was trying to find this, not prepared as well as I should be. We have drag queen story time for Pride Week. And we are really excited about this. I know I'm going to be attending. It's being put on by the Drag Queen Storytime organization of Montgomery County. And these are professionally trained drag queens who, Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 12th at 3:30 in the afternoon, they do a story time that shows everyone that there's a place for us all in this world, no matter who you are. And I know that you can pick up the materials to make a rainbow ribbon dance circle, something to have to join in. So that's coming up on Saturday. And then later this month on the 26th, we have one of our contemporary conversation events. And this will be with the author, Jared Kozowska, who is known for his series about the lunch ladies. And I don't know if you have somebody that age, but he's coming to speak to us about another work of his, which is called Hey Kiddo. It's a graphic novel for young adults and teens, and it's about his life and growing up in a family that was impacted by addiction. And I'm really looking forward to that one. We've been working to have him come to Montgomery County for quite a while. So be on the lookout for those two programs, both of which are going to be interesting, exciting, and you'll learn something at them. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
We're real pleased.
I have a big graphic novel reader and my 11-year-old.
Oh, okay.
So we have to look out for that. And yes, happy Pride Month. We just raised the flag, the Pride flag up at the center of Rockville there at the government building right outside in the plaza. And Councilmember Evan Glass has done a great job. There's a whole series of events this month that his office and the council have pulled together. And the flag raising earlier this week was one of those. And we are very proud of all of our residents from every walk of life. And that's what really Montgomery County and this country is about, being able to be who you are and have an opportunity to live your best life and achieve your potential. So celebrate this month, please. There's a whole range of Pride events, including the ones
and more.
Yeah, that was
some crafts and some book discussions. If you go to our website, you can see all of the events that we have lined up for Pride Month.
Awesome. And one of the other things I'll mention, if there's not, and I see we have a few other people in here, if there's any other questions, feel free to jump in. But my staff did put in the chat to remind me that my next tour in Maggie Nightingale, is that on this July 6th, or is that one already open? Is that going to be open next week?
They will not be open on June 24th, unfortunately. Yeah, Maggie Nightingale is July 6th.
Got it. All right. So I will be at Maggie Nightingale on June 24th. So if that's your library or you want to just tune in, that one will be virtual. And so, and you know what we may do also is we may figure out a way to have, even when they're back in person, have a virtual component so that people can, if you can't get out of the house or you don't want to, or you want to watch it later, that you can join. But I'll be at Maggie Nightingale June 24th at 5:30 p.m. Up in Poolesville, and look forward to seeing folks. And if anyone actually wants to meet me, just go ahead and come. I'll talk to you outside the library. Poolesville, I know it's people that live up there tend to be, if you were going to come down in that general area where everything is, as far as the city center, I'll be happy to talk to you. Just reach out to my office. And maybe we'll go up there early and I'll have dinner somewhere because, I'm in Poolesville. It should take advantage. But I think, if there's nothing else, we can end early. We are usually go about 45 minutes. Jim, yes, you have something.
I do have one question for, I guess, Anita, and that is, what are the plans to bring back the in-person children's programs, story time, dance time, and all of that?
Yeah. Well, that is a good question, Jim, and it's something that we're discussing right now. As you know, children are not yet eligible for the vaccine.
Under 12, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Up to age 12. So I think Jim is talking about the preschool and the baby story times. We definitely know that, it is important for the interaction of the in-person story times, but we want to tread a little carefully because there may be some reluctance on the part of parents and caregivers to bring their young children into the library space. So we're working on some variants of a hybrid programming. So, there are various ways to do it. What is the most appropriate technology? Do we want to do something where maybe 1 week the program is in person for those who wish to attend that way? The next week the program is virtual. So it, like I said the other day to my staff, when we moved from in person, when we moved from the branches to the entirely virtual world, it was a big lift. And there was a lot that we had to work on to make that transition. And now transitioning out of the virtual back to in person with the long-term goal, it's another big lift. I think somebody else said it's a lot easier to close county government than it is to reopen county government. So I don't have a date in that way. And I think we'll also need to see how the vaccination rates continue in the county where we wind up. I read yesterday, I think that Pfizer is beginning tests on young children for vaccination. So, there are a lot of moving parts and we want to be sure that we are doing the best for the young people in our community. But certainly eventually we will be back in person with those programs because it is important, I think, to have that immediate connection with the books and the library staff.
Yeah, and especially as we head into summer, Jim, I will, we'll stay in touch, and I have some ideas. Just even though I sit here with Anita about that, because we know we've on the childcare side, we are actually well practiced in this in other parts of the county, and you have childcare providers. There are ways to even inside with even if children wear masks. I have a 2-year-old son who's attending Montessori, for example, and they wear their face coverings inside, and they go outside, they take them off. And they're very attuned to it. And, and so he tells his sisters, mask when you need to, it's one of his words that he has. So
oh my gosh.
I know. So it's I think there's ways to do it is what I'll say. And so I hope we can figure it out because I do think that, I think we will. And because that is an important component, and not just selfishly want to be back and do story time in person. so yeah, we'll get there. No problem. I see Diane, did you have something that you wanted to add or ask?
Yes, I just wanted to add that we're also looking at doing some outdoor programming later this summer. And it's possible that we may be working with our early literacy coordinator and the parks department.
That's great.
To we're going to have a story walk here at Wheaton in mid-July for the Latino Conservation Week, possibly, and might be a bilingual story time during that week, but we're still working on the process, and we're looking at possibly doing other outdoor story times later in the summer.
That's a good point. With the weather being what it is, that's what we can definitely take advantage of that.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Oh, good. Thank you, Lily, for putting that in there. The Drag Queen Story Hour. And if I can make it, I will try to make that too. I'm not sure that it's the 23rd, you said?
It's the Saturday. I thought it was the Saturday.
Well, either way,
wrong.
check it out if you can. And as always, we are going to be back. Just give you a little council session. We pick back up to next week, and we'll be in session through the end of July. and then take a few weeks in August where we won't be meeting in person, but we'll still be working. I mean, trust me, we're always working. And but really looking forward to this reopening process. It's Sunday.
It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday.
This
Okay,
Saturday,
3:30
yeah.
to 4:30.
Mhm.
And I'll also mention, just a plug here, tomorrow will be, I think, our 94th or so story time. We're approaching 100. And we are going to do something. Hopefully, we're working on something special for the 100th episode, and we'll keep you posted on that. So we just do it once a week now. Usually Friday. It airs Fridays at 11:30. But really appreciate the partnership with
been
your
great.
team.
Been great.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyone else? I'll give you one last chance. If not, we usually do about 45 minutes, and we're right at just before that. But thank you and welcome, to the virtual Wheaton Library. But we're actually here, and keep safe. Get vaccinated if you haven't, and enjoy the summer. We've got a lot of programming, and as most students, like my MCPS kids, they end school next week. There's a ton of robust programming, that recreation. You've heard about some of the library programming that is going on. Please check that out. We want to make sure MCPS, realizing that a lot of kids have fallen behind and are dealing with issues, has extended school year options and summer school happening. So all that's going on. If you have any questions about any of that or need a resource, you can email my office at councilmember.jawando@montgomerycountymd.gov, or obviously go on the county website and reach out to us if you have questions. But thank you, and thank you, Diane, and team, and thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you
Bye,
guys next time.
everybody. Yep.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Bye.